Hi, everyone. Welcome to tax season. We like to joke at the office that, we've just been through the holiday season, which usually people consider that the most wonderful time of the year. Here at the consulate, we like to say that tax season is the most wonderful time of the year. So my name is Leo, and we just wanted to go through some of the tips to make tax season smooth, both for you as you're gathering documents and reviewing your returns, and then on our end while we're preparing your returns as well. So we just wanted to put together some key things to keep in mind while we're going through tax season here. So the first thing is, what do you need to do to prepare for tax season? So the first step is gathering all of your tax documents. So gathering all those 1099s and W-2s and things like that, and compiling all of those. Then we have our tax prep questionnaire. So just like it was last year, it's actually going to be fully digital this year. So all you do is go follow the link, answer all the questions, and then we will automatically get your responses once you finish the survey. So very easy to complete. We ask that you sign your engagement letter and include that with your tax documents when you send them to us. And then, of course, the most important part is actually getting the documents to us. So obviously you can drop them off at our office or mail them, but the quickest way to get them to us is to upload them to your client portal. And the best way to do that is to sort of compile all the documents and upload them at once. So the reason being is we prepare returns once we get a majority of your documents in. So if we see an upload of a bunch of tax documents kind of all at once, we have a pretty good idea that that return is pretty much ready to be prepared. So we ask that if you upload them, just try and upload a majority of the documents at one time. In terms of tax forms that you should be on the lookout for, in mid to late January, that's when your W-2s, your 1099s, that's when all those come out. So those bank interest documents, those dividend statements, W-2s, those are all generally released by the end of January. For our clients that use Flourish, we actually will have access to your 1099 INTs on your behalf. So if you're a client who uses Flourish and we prepare your tax return, you're welcome to upload the document, but just know that we will actually already have a copy of it on your behalf. And then around mid-February or so, for our clients with taxable brokerage accounts, that's when those composite 1099s will be released. So it's usually around mid to late February or so. And then in March, if there are any corrections that need to be made to those documents, those 1099s, I should say, those will usually happen around March or so. But that's sort of a general guideline of when you'll see those documents in your hands. Then we've got just some important dates to keep in mind. So we've got January 16th. That is when the fourth quarter estimated tax payments for last year are due. So that's sort of the last chunk of tax payments. So if you need to make that payment, you have until the 16th to do it. Then March 15th, we've got partnership and S-Corp tax returns that are due. And then the big date that everyone's familiar with is April 15th. So in the past, we had April 17th one year, April 18th last year, but we're back to the 15th now. So on the 15th, obviously, individual tax returns are due, trust, corporate tax returns are due, but also if you are making quarterly estimated tax payments for tax year 2024, those are also due by April 15th. So April 15th is really the really important date. That's when a lot of the returns and payments are due by. And then June 15th and September 15th, we've got the second and third quarter estimated tax payments that are due. And then in between there, on July 31st, we've got the employee benefit plan returns that are due. So those are often referred to as 5500s if you hear us talking about that. But if you're a client that we prepare that for, just know the due date is July 31st. But we usually have those done well before July 31st. But just be on the lookout for those as we prepare those. And then the question is, what do you do once your return's finished? So the first thing we ask you to do is you'll get an email from our tax team, just sort of outlining the steps to go through to finalize your return. We just ask that you read through that because that does a really good job of explaining kind of the next steps from there. Then we ask you to review your return for completeness and accuracy. Again, there's a lot of information that's being sent to us. We want to make sure that it's properly recorded on your tax return. Something new that we're going to do this year is some clients have experienced this in the past, but we're going to do this sort of widespread, is you'll get 2 copies of your return. So the first copy of your return will be labeled your draft return. And this will be sort of the first time you see the return. This will be when you go through it and look for those, potential errors that you hopefully don't find. But if you do, that's when you'd find them. That's going to be your draft return. And then once you actually sign your e-file forms and you say the return is complete, it's accurate, I'm ready to file it, we're going to upload a second copy to you that is your final tax return. And it'll be clearly marked in the portal which one is your draft and which one is your final tax return. But we want to make sure that if there are any changes, you sort of have a track showing those changes throughout tax season. So we'll make sure that you get that, but just be on the lookout that you will get 2 different tax returns this year. When you do review your return, we do ask that you look at the instruction letter, because once again, it's very important. It tells you exactly what you need to do in terms of payments, if you have to mail anything, which most people don't. But again, that letter is very important in explaining what steps need to be taken. Then you sign your e-file form, and then we ask that you pay your tax prep invoice. So just like the past, you're welcome to write us a check and mail it to us or drop it off at the office. You can also call into the office and pay with a credit card, or you can call the office and have us send you a link to pay electronically. So there's plenty of options to pay. You just let us know how you want to do it and we can work with that. And after that, that's it. You're finished. So not too many steps in between, a couple of changes this year. But we really just wanted to make sure that we try and make this process as smooth and as seamless for everyone as we can. So if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to your advisor or your preparer. You can email us, info@financialconsulate.com, or feel free to call the office as well. But we're looking forward to this tax season, and happy tax year 2023.